Welcome everyone, Joe with ECRM here at our food service sessions in Chicago, and with me is Katherine Thompson from Connections, food service marketing agency, who gave a great presentation yesterday on all trends related to commercial and non-commercial food service. So today, actually speaking of trends, we're going to talk about the path that a lot of product trends follow. 4 steps that Katie went over. From inception to adoption to proliferation to ubiquity. And the cool thing about that is the fact that here at our ECRM sessions, the buyers are trying to spot these brands in their infancy that are going to be ultimately in the last 2 stages. So Katie, thank you so much for the presentation, and take us through those 4 steps and those phases and kind of the types of products that we all know about that have fallen within them. And then from there, we'll try and get into the new ones.
Yeah, shout out to Datassential that helps, illustrate the menu adoption cycle. So love their tools and utilize them all the time. But when you think of things on the menu adoption curve, we have all the way left is going to be things that we see in fine dining and the new trends. And then as we move through adoption and proliferation, you're seeing, trendy spots, maybe more fast casual. And then on our ubiquity stage, we're going to see it more in the common everyday QSR or even on the retail shelf. So a good example of something in the past few years is, or more recently, would be something in like the flower botanical space. So something like lavender, we've seen already show up on menus all the way. It used to be more of a specialty fine dining touch, and now we're seeing it at First Watch and Panera. They have beverages with lavender, and then of course we're going to start seeing it in CPG bottled beverages as well. Something that is a even more unique example of it, and we're going to stay with the purple theme, would be ube. So something that's a global flavor trend. And again, I think I like this piece we talked about was that something that's new to parts of the United States, but there are cultures that it's a nostalgia. It's something they grew up with, and it is a common ingredient. So it's really interesting to see how it's perceived and utilized on the menu for other cultures. So you see ube show up maybe on the inception, on the menu adoption cycle a few years ago, but we've already seen it all the way to the right side of the trend curve. Baskin Robbins has an ube flavored ice cream for the last 2 or 3 years, or within the past couple of years. So you're already seeing something that may still be new to some people in terms of trying a new flavor profile, but you're already seeing it. I think something else is that things travel a lot faster on the menu adoption curve, right? So something else I talked about would be like dirty soda, something that we might see as something new or regional. Again, not a brand new concept, but we're already seeing it at Coffee Mate and their retail product on the CPG side.
So things can be progressing along those phases in parallel, like for example, by region, by demographic. So maybe something is really hot among millennials or whatever, Gen Zers, and they post a lot about it on social media, and then all of a sudden different groups start getting into it. But then also, older items can come back, like spam you talked about. How is that? Where is that going? Where's spam showing up?
I mean, I think it's also, chefs are super creative, and I think as an ingredient, it's something that has been around and could also influence our Hawaiian global cuisine, but it could also be something as an American staple because it's something that we all know and love. And they're, taking it to the next level. And that's, I think, the best part about what we do is that things rock from side to side, and once it goes out, it can come back in a new way in a few years because it's not dead, but it's just being reinvented. Yeah,
and that reminds me of this one episode of Bar Rescue where somebody was redoing a restaurant bar into an apocalyptic themed restaurant, and when they were creating the food menu item, they're like, well, what's going to be available if
that happens?
Canned foods, stuff that lasts forever, and spam. So they had like spam on the menu, but they created all of these items out of spam. And I think during the pandemic, spam got popular because that's why I have spam in my cupboard, because I had that one batch of foods that's like just in case everything goes to hell.
Yep.
Here's the stuff that'll last forever.
Yep.
So,
I love that.
now you mentioned specialty cold beverages.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that and why it's getting popular and all the things you can do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think cold beverages as a specific part of the beverage category is just a lot more of a demand. We have an opportunity to specialize beverages, and they're with everything we've seen after COVID, people are changing their beverage opportunities when they go out and eat. So you see things on the menu that are super colorful, super customizable. And then one of the best ways to keep that experience is a cold beverage, because if you have something hot, it might cool down, and it really changes some of that experience. And then also packaging. The one really interesting piece about why this cold beverage revolution is happening is that they're see-through cups. You can really make a video about and show off those colors and your customized steps and the inclusions that you choose. And it's super pretty and vibrant, and it makes for an amazing video or a shoot the shot because of how pretty it is. I think you even see somebody that's in the coffee space like Starbucks, their last quarter sales of last year, I think 75% of their beverage sales was cold. I think it's just something that humans prefer in a way that is, and also a great format for just really interesting and new things.
Well, speaking of the visual appeal, right, we talked about this yesterday, and I heard a couple of people had different takes on it. Designing these fancy, visually appealing beverages for Instagram, or are they just happening to be on Instagram because which is causing which, or is it both?
It's one of those things. It's both. So they have an opportunity, again, Starbucks continues to innovate. They've taken their strawberry dragon fruit beverage and added a spice layer to it. So they're taking those vibrant pink drinks, and again, adding the next, I gotta try the same because I gotta try it. And I think Gen Z is one of those generations that will do that. They'll try it just to be the person to try it, when other generations might require it to taste good or have the right price point. And this is a generation where they're gonna buy drinks to make videos out of it, and they might take a sip and then spill it on the ground because that's part of the TikTok trend. And I think that you see operators paying attention. Let's get a hot pink drink out there. Let's get a very vibrant, colorful drink with really interesting new inclusions. Like you see how boba went from a tapioca format to strawberry popping and yogurt infused. Like we've seen all those beverage inclusions also go along that trend curve.
It keeps it fresh. It keeps it fresh, keeps it unique, and it's part of that experiential dining.
Yeah, and I think when you have that customization piece and you have somebody post about what they've done, a lot of that experience going through the drive-thru, and let me show you what I get, and then that's where that trend starts by an influencer or a very viral video that then, great, you saw it on TikTok or Instagram, and now you're going to go try it yourself. So it's that both ways. Yeah.
So I guess the key question is for brands or for food service operators is, how do you know what the next big thing's going to be?
I know, it's challenging, but I think it's fun. Like we're in a really interesting space with trends right now. Is that even fads are coming back to be new and creative and reinvented. Like I said, trends don't die; they just reinvent themselves. So I think just staying ahead and use those colors to your advantage, use inclusions to your advantage. But customization in the eyes of consumers are going to be key. So as long you can create all you want, but if it's only one way and you're stuck with it, I think that's where we get limited. And then I can't create my own new thing to post about. So I think customization is going to be key on keeping them, because you'll also find that a consumer will go through the drive-thru and create the next new trend because people saw it on the drive-thru. Yeah. So then as long as you can do that.
And you never know. Look at what happened with with Applebee's, right? And that guy's song. Fancy Like, and all of a sudden they put it back on the menu because of that song, and it was so it brought back something from the past. So awesome. Well, thank you again, and for those looking to get in touch with you at Connections, where can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have an awesome website that talks all about our business at marlinconnections.com. And then, of course, you can find me on LinkedIn at Katherine Thompson, or feel free to email me. Maybe we can put it on the screen. Or
sure. Or I can put it in the post.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right. Thanks again.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.